Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Melissa Pineda, and today I will be discussing the book How to Boost Your Physical and Mental Energy by Dr. Kimberlee Bonura. So this book is part of the Great Courses series, and you can get it in as like a physical copy of the book, or you can listen to it on Audible, which is what I did. So before I get into my review, if there's anything you find interesting or that you like today, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, I will jump right in. I'm going to give you just the main points that I found interesting in this book, and then you can take that and judge whether or not you want to read it yourself and invest your time in the book. Dr. Bonura talks about sleep. We all know how important sleep is. She says that a consistent lack of sleep negatively affects the brain and leads to long-term neurological damage. So she talks about a lot of different studies in this book, one of which is research using MRIs in adults and how it has shown that there's a connection between a consistent lack of sleep and memory impairment. She talks about dementia and Alzheimer's and just how sleep affects everything that we do. She says that you really have to kind of prioritize sleep because it affects your health, it affects everything on a day-to-day basis, how you feel, how your brain operates. So Dr. Bonura talks about how you should invest in your sleep. So invest in a good mattress, invest in a good pillow, and really take it seriously. She mentions a lot of prominent individuals, such as ex-presidents of the United States, for instance, that have come out in recent years and attributed their health issues, their heart attack they had, mental capacity issues, to the lack of sleep they got during their presidency. And other individuals, you know, it sounds great, oh, I only run on 3 hours of sleep, but really that's not sustainable and it has long-term effects. That's what she's saying. So she says that people think they don't have time to sleep because they have too much to do, but if you get more sleep, you're actually more efficient and productive with the time you have. So she says, like, if you get, say, 3 hours sleep and you get up and you're groggy, it's gonna take you a lot longer to get started, to be mentally awake, and then you shut down earlier too. She talks about how sleep is the body's natural healing process and that we eventually adapt to chronic sleep restrictions, but we adapt at a reduced level of performance. She says that sleep is the body's natural healing process, and a lack of sleep can lead to major mental health issues. She says that research has shown that kids that are sleep deprived often get misdiagnosed with ADHD and other issues. And kids with more sleep are better able to emotionally regulate. And if you think about how you feel when you're sleep deprived, you know, that just gets magnified when you're a kid and you're less able to control your emotions. Things like limit your caffeine intake. She suggests no coffee at all, like no caffeine after noon. Like 12 noon. So there are tangible things that she talks about that you can do that will have a greater effect. You'll actually feel better. You'll feel something Dr. Bonura said that I found really interesting was that you can't multitask. She says that you think you can, but you can't. We think we're multitasking, but we're just doing more than one thing at like a lower level. So instead of investing 100% of your attention on something, you're just, I guess, doing not your best. You're doing a lot less than your best, but like spread out. Whereas you could put all your energy in something, and do better at it. We've all heard that sugar is not good for you. You should limit your sugar intake and get sugar from things other than other things, right? It's better to have sugar from fruit than it is, you know, processed sugar. But she talks about how too much sugar breaks down collagen and actually accelerates the appearance of aging. I felt a little attacked by that. I felt like, oh, okay, all right, it hit home a little bit as a woman. I feel like maybe a woman reading that, you know, might be more affected than a man. Maybe not, but that made me think, okay, less sugar, more collagen. She also says that sugar leads to inflammation in your body. It also can affect the good bacteria in your gut and can create unhealthy gut bacteria. This affects your hormones, she says. It also affects your memory. So a pop, for instance, before a meeting will prevent you from remembering key information and what you heard during that meeting. So you won't be able to retain the information you heard versus having something else, some tea, green tea, before the meeting. She says that sugar makes it harder for you to learn and to remember. And this goes for both kids and adults. A lack of protein also can lead to fatigue, which I found interesting. So for people that might be suffering from chronic fatigue, she talks about things that you can do, such as eating more protein in your diet, less sugar, more water, no coffee after 12 noon. I think she says 11:30, but I'm gonna remember it as 12 noon. Some studies have shown coffee can actually prevent or reduce dementia in older adults. She says that earlier in the day is better, and of course, limit your coffee intake. She says 3 cups of coffee, so that's not bad. We have a societal discomfort, she says, with grief and sadness and uncomfortable feelings. So doctors are very quick to write prescriptions, and we are quick to medicate ourselves. There are other authors like Nassim Taleb, for instance, that talk about this too, that there's this idea in society of it being bad that you have uncomfortable feelings, that we should numb that, we should numb ourselves, and we should be happy all the time. And it's just not practical, it's not normal, it's not beneficial, and we should be okay with uncomfortable feelings. There are different strategies that Dr. Bonura talks about that we can use in place of medication. Of course, things like antidepressants are important and serve a purpose, but should not be the go-to. This I found really interesting, and men out there might find this very interesting too. Video games. Studies have shown that people that play video games less than 1 hour a day are actually happier than people that either don't play them at all or that play more than 1 hour per day. So the ideal is you play video games less than 1 hour per day and you're going to be happier, studies have shown, than people that either don't play at all or that play too much. Apparently, she talks about kids in video games and how there are some benefits associated with video games, such as problem solving, resilience, things of that nature. So I thought that was pretty interesting. In terms of happiness, Dr. Bonura says that older adults are consistently happier than younger ones, but the happiest of those are older adults in good health. So she just talks about the importance of your health, right? That is 60% of marital conflicts cannot be resolved, she says. Continuing to argue over conflicts that can't be resolved is a waste of time and effort. I really like this. I thought this was really interesting. She talks about different things within a marriage and just relationships in general, and how it's all about how you choose to kind of interpret some situations, things like that. I know that Brian Tracy, he's such a great author and motivational speaker, he says that if there's no solution to a problem, there's no problem. So, I mean, it's the same idea. Like, don't waste your time thinking about things that you can't fix. A lot of it's just like compromise, especially in relationships, and choosing like who you're going to surround yourself with. I mean, your marriage is one thing, but choosing like your friends, choosing the people you surround yourself with wisely. It's really important for your happiness. She says that I'm going to leave it there. If there's anything that you heard that you liked or found interesting, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for listening, and until next time.